if you're a fan of the Razer phones, then all indicators are pointing to an insanely better upgrade when it comes to the Razer 2025 Plus, which we're expecting very soon. We saw a little teaser put out by Motorola on X the other day showing off some stuff, and we have some leaked specs which showed up. Of course, we see all the benchmarks and the FCC and all that stuff that passes through. So what we're seeing as of yesterday is some insanely good upgrades over the already phenomenal Razer 2024 Plus. And I love this phone. And I got the special edition, this Pantone, like the Mocha one. I forgot what the exact name for the color is. But last go around, we had the Snapdragon 8S Generation 3. And some people were upset because it had a 2x telephoto on here instead of an ultra wide. And it looks like Motorola is going to rectify some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to talk about these reported specs. So, what kind of upgrades are we looking at? So, if this stuff holds true, and of course, this is stuff that was like leaked out yesterday, put out in the news media from people who followed these things, we're looking at a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. So, that would be a nice zippy upgrade. Now, not that the 8S Generation 3 wasn't a good chip, or 8S Generation 2. No, 8S Generation 3, yeah. So, the 8S Gen 3 was a good chip, but it wasn't like the top of the line flagship. It was in a flagship family, but it was more like 8 Generation 2 with a little bit extra emphasis on the AI. And now what we're looking at is the 8 Elite processor. We know the 8 Elite is fantastic. We know it's got tons of power, significant upgrades, and lots of power performance stuff when it comes to overall speed, like an extra gigahertz on the top end speed, 2 primary cores, and then we're also looking at like 40% improvement on GPU, on hardware like battery efficiency and ray tracing and all those different things. So there's a lot to like there. And we've tested this out in a lot of phones. We've seen it in the OnePlus 13. I've tested it. Fantastic. Xiaomi 15, also the S25 series phones. The Snapdragon 8 Elite processor is very good. Also, word on the street is it might bump up to 512 gigabytes of storage. So the Moto RAZR 2024 Plus last year had 256, which I think 256 baseline is fine for basically any phone that comes out on the market. I have no problem with baseline 256, but if it goes to 512, which I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit hesitant on buying into this one, but if it comes with 512, that's insane, and that's going to be a big win in the Razer column over the Samsung column. And the reason they're putting it out this early, because they're earlier this year than they were last year. Last year, they were already out earlier than the Z Flip 6. But they're taking the game full court press, and they're just taking it straight to them. They're taking the fight to Samsung, and they're doing it in a big way. And one of the biggest ways is it looks like it's going to have a 7-inch screen. So we already had a 6.9-inch, the POLED display on here, which is a fantastic screen. Motorola does a good job with their screens, especially the foldables. And we're looking at an even bigger screen. So if this holds up, we're going to get a 7-inch screen, which would be the biggest flip phone ever. Like, biggest flip phone ever. I mean, we're talking a bigger screen than the S25 Ultra. Now, I don't know if this is going to impact the dimensions. From what I've seen, it looks like it's still going to have the 4-inch screen on the front. But, yeah, that would be pretty phenomenal with a 7-inch screen. On top of that, it looks like the battery is going to get a boost too, potentially up to, I think it's 4,600 milliamps. No, 4,700. So right now we got 4,000, talking about going up to a 4,700 milliamp battery. So if this thing comes out, and it's got a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, a 7-inch screen, a 4,700 milliamp battery, 512 gigabytes of storage, and they're even talking about faster storage, faster charging speeds too, potentially being on the radar. That would be insane. That would be one of the biggest year-over-year boosts we've seen in a phone, and it would be in the flip department. And I think it would really help solidify Motorola's position. And I think that the Razer has been the best flip phone on the market the last 2 years. I love the Razer 2023, the Razer 2024. I've owned both of them. I've tested them all out. I love the Razer 2024 Plus, one of my favorite phones this last year. So if Motorola comes out swinging, like if they come out and they're like, all right, bam, 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 we got all this stuff in our phone, lay their cards out and be like, wow, that would be seriously impressive. And I think that would maybe convince some more people to move over from Samsung. I mean, Motorola already has the best front screen experience you can get on a flip phone. You don't have to install any extra software. You don't have to go through Good Lock. You don't have to go into your settings and enable all this stuff just so you can have the availability to use front screen for apps. Very, very simple on here. You just go and hit the little pencil edit button in the top right corner, add whatever app you want. I mean, shoot, you can play Boom Beach on the front of this sucker. So that's the great thing about Motorola. It's not just that they've had great, phenomenal hardware. They've had better looking phones. They've got a better front screen experience, and the software experience is top notch. I mean, if it had a Samsung logo on it instead of Motorola, people would be singing its praises left and right. Now, of course, because it's Motorola, it's got to get downplayed, and it's always a stepchild, and it's always like, oh, it's one of those things where, yeah, they're good, but they're not Samsung. Samsung basically created and invented foldable phones and flippable phones, and they've had so many. We're coming up on the 7th iteration of the Z Flip. The Z Flip 7 is going to be out in just a couple of months. Well, Motorola, they pioneered basically the luxury flip phone way back in the day 20 years ago, and now I feel like they're emboldened. I feel like they're emboldened. They've had so much success with their flip phones over the last couple of years, and they're doing a lot of great things. Shoot, I just did a video yesterday on the Motorola, the Moto G Stylus 2025. Fantastic phone. $399. You got a stylus, you got a Snapdragon 6th Generation 3, beautiful screen, 3000 nits brightness, 5000 milliamp battery. It's doing great. The only drawback, and I think the only drawback people can really seriously discuss with these phones, is the software updates. I would really like to see them have better software support. They do bi-monthly security patches, which means every other month. They don't come out with monthly security patches. That's one area where Samsung still wins. They don't do 7 years of support. That's one area that Samsung still wins. If you take a look at the Moto G Stylus, it gets 2 years of operating system updates, and I believe this one's 4, if I remember off the top of my head. I haven't looked at it in a while, but yeah, they're not quite on the same level. I would really love to see Motorola with their premium phones go to 5 years. I'd love to see 5 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches, and do monthly security patches. That right there, if they did that, it would really elevate and put them on that next level where people couldn't talk down about them from the Samsung guys going, yeah, well, you don't get monthly patches or you don't get monthly updates. Well, I mean, hey, they got Android 15 faster than Samsung phones, right? So Motorola is doing a lot of good things. Motorola is doing a lot of good things, and I've been really impressed. Like their hardware lineup, I've already reviewed the Moto G, the Moto G Power, the Moto G Stylus, and those are all great options at the $199, $299, and $399 price point. It'll be interesting to see how the price comes out on this one, because last go around it was $999. You could get it on sale for $899, and it undercut the Z Flip 6 by just a little bit. By coming out this much earlier, because this is significantly earlier, we're talking about the end of April, we likely won't see the Z Flip 7 until July. So they don't really even have to compete that much. It would be nice if they offer good trade-in deals. If they've got good trade-in deals, if they bump up the software support and all of these things come out, I mean, it could line up the Razer 2025 Plus to be phone of the year. I mean, really, it could seriously be in contention for phone of the year if all of these things come true. Now, that's a big Cinderella story. I don't expect there to be much change in the software department when it comes to updates, and it's just what it is. I talk to Motorola about this every year. I'm like, y'all need to increase the stuff. Just like I talk to OnePlus, I'm like, y'all need to come up and increase the updates and stuff. But that's really the only area holding them back. And every time I put out a Motorola review, people are like, oh, yeah, but their software sucks. Oh, yeah, their software stuff sucks. Yeah, their software stuff sucks. Like, I see it. People talk about the Motorola software updates as much as people talk about the Pixel with the Tensor chips. Like, people just love to hate on the software for Motorola. People love to hate on the Tensor for Pixel. And it's just one of those things. It's fact of life when it comes to making videos about these phones. But again, the Razer 2024 Plus, one of my top 3 phones from last year. I absolutely love this phone, and they did some significant updates. And another thing, too, is like I was saying earlier, people were pissed that they did a 2x telephoto on here, and I kind of get that, especially when I have a 50 megapixel camera. A 2x digital crop looks almost as good as a telephoto, so it was kind of meaningless. If they did a 3x zoom, I'd have been happier. If they had all 3 lenses, which it doesn't appear that way because I mean, it's kind of hard to fit all that in this little top cover screen, but it would be great to have 3 lenses. I don't see that happening anytime in the near future, but if they go to if they go from the telephoto to the ultra wide, that'll make people happier. That does appear to be what they're doing. So yeah, if all this stuff comes true, this would be some seriously amazing updates. And again, that would make it, I mean, knock the Z Flip 6 out of the ballpark, probably even knock the Z Flip 7 out of the ballpark before it even gets here. I feel like Z Flip and Samsung have been playing catch up trying to catch up with what Motorola has been doing because they've been doing such a good job with their phones. These feel more premium. I love the colors, and I love the vegan leather they have on the back of these things too. But the Pantone, the build quality is good. They've improved that stuff as well too. So yeah, Motorola is one of the brands that's been firing on all cylinders the last couple of years, and they continue to take the fight to Samsung and other brands. And I can't wait to see what happens with the Razer and the Razer Plus as we're getting down to 0 date. I mean, what's today? The 18th? Supposedly it's coming out on the 24th, so we'll see what happens then. We got basically 6 days. So put the date on your calendar, save the date for the 24th, and we'll see if all this stuff comes to fruition, and who knows? Maybe I might have some coverage on it whenever it gets here. So anyway, that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.